Hi everyone, it's Val again, coming back to you with a new video on how I put dip powder on my toes and also how I use a tea bag to repair a chipped toenail. So my feet have been washed, sanitized, they're clean, y'all. And I'm starting off by pushing back the cuticle and filing and trimming down my toenails. Before I do the actual dip powder application, I've got to fix a chipped toenail. So what you see in my hand is a tea bag. I'm cutting it up to get it the width of my toenail, trying to make sure that it's going to fit properly, and then I'm going to use some Kiss nail glue to adhere that tea bag to my toenail. After I adhere it to my toenail, and you see me with tweezers, the reason why I'm using the tweezers is because I don't want my finger to get stuck trying to put this tea bag on my toenail, and I found that tweezers just kind of help with that. So anyhow, I'm going to trim the tea bag. I'm trying to measure it up to my other toenail to make sure that they're going to be the same length. And then what I'm going to do is apply one layer of clear dip powder. This is by toenails, and I'm just going to do one layer of the clear dip powder. Of course, I put base coat on first, and then I'm going to use the pour over method to apply the clear dip powder. Of course, I'm going to wait a little bit before I dust off the extra powder, and then after I dust off the extra powder, I'm going to give it time to dry a little bit, and then I'm going to activate this. Activating it is going to make it hard, and what it is, it's going to give this tea bag the thickness of like a natural nail, and that's what I want. You're going to see me bend the tea bag. That's because, I don't want just a blunt, flat toenail. Your toenail kind of curves, so I want it to mimic a natural toenail. So that's why you saw me bend that. And then, of course, letting the activator dry, trying to help it with my little hand fan. And after this, you, of course, will shape up the toenail like you need to, how you want it to, the shape that you want it to be, how you want it to look. And then that's when you can move on to the dip powder application portion of this. So of course I am using an alcohol wipe to remove dust and oil from my nail beds, and then I'm going to use the primer, which is step 1 of the Rossi system, applying that to all of my toenails before I move on to the next step, which is applying the base coat. And of course what you do is you apply a thin layer of base coat. And like I said, I'm using the pour over method for my toes because I don't want to dip my toes into my dip powder. I mean, they are clean. It is my dip powder, but still I don't want to dip my toenails in there. So plus it'd be kind of awkward to do anyway. So applying thin layers of the base coat and then using the pour over method to apply the powder. I did 1 foot at a time before I tried to brush off the extra powder. I did 2 layers of the dip powder. That's this nice milky color that has foil in it. I didn't buy this from a company. I bought this from a lady off of Facebook that makes full dip powder. So anyhow, now what you see me doing was putting the last layer, which was a layer of clear dip powder, which is by toenails, because I didn't want to file into the foil on the 2 layers of dip powder that I applied before the clear. So of course, after you do all the different layers of the dip powder that you want, you apply a generous amount of activator, and then you let the activator dry, and then you start buffing and filing. I decided to bring out my drill this time to cut down on my buffing and filing time, which it definitely did. I don't know the names of these drill bits, but I used 2 different ones. That one, and then I use a skinnier one around my cuticles to make sure that the dip powder is not too thick around my cuticles. Of course, after you do this part, the last thing is putting on 2 coats of the top coat. Before I do that, I just want to buff, make sure everything is smooth, and I'm using alcohol to remove dust and oil from my toenails before I apply the top coat. You do 1 brief coat of the top coat, and then you follow up with a more accurate coat of the top coat, and then you allow it to dry. I normally let it dry for about at least 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes before I try to put on lotion or cuticle oil or anything like that. The cuticle oil that I use in this video is also by toenails. The scent is mango. It smells really, really good. And then I follow up with some shea butter lotion that I got from a local business near me. And that's really it, guys. If you want a slower tutorial on dip powder, then I do have the one for my nails, and you can definitely use that. But that's it. I think I did a pretty good job for my first time doing dip powder on my toes. If you guys have any questions, you can always follow me on Instagram. Have a great day. Bye.